Hello everyone, this is Genius Yoshi, and today we're building the mill deck. And the mill deck's actually quite good in the current metagame. So, what is the mill deck? Well, the purpose of the mill deck is based off of an old Magic the Gathering card called Millstone, which allows you to send the top two cards of your opponent's deck to the discard. What we do here is the same thing, Lorcana style. We want to take our opponent's deck, send it all to the discard pile or to our opponent's hand. We don't care as long as that deck is empty. Then your opponent goes to draw a card and they lose. Unfortunately, there's only one card that forces our opponent to either discard cards from the top of the deck or draw cards. And that card is the one that everyone's been playing all around town, A Whole New World. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. And you can sing it, so you can force your opponent to draw 7 cards. Okay, but if both players are playing 60 cards and you have any kind of draw and the opponent's not playing draw, Genius Yoshi, you're gonna mill yourself first. And that's why we have to play more than 60 cards. That way, assuming that our opponent is playing an optimal deck with 60 cards, then our Whole New World strategy, by playing it 5 or 6 times, 6 times 7, 42, plus the draw steps, yeah, about 6 times, we'll get to completely empty our opponent's deck, and we'll hopefully be left with a handful of cards. We do need to be careful not to completely mill ourselves out, but we're not going to be playing too much draw, and a lot of the meta decks are playing draw spells in their own strategies. And for the other decks that are really just playing Whole New World, well, we're playing a few extra cards, which is going to make the difference. Okay, but we're only allowed 4 Whole New Worlds, and we need to cast it about 6 times. So, how do we do it? Well, the answer is simple. You simply do it again. As this card says it, return an action from your discard pile to your hand. We pick up a Whole New World and do it again. We'll play it in 4 copies. We'll also be playing the Lady Tremaine, which has the same ability. Lady Tremaine allows us to return an action card from our discard pile to our hand, same ability as the action itself. So now we have theoretically the option of playing 12 times A Whole New World. Now if we have 2 of these cards in the hand at the same time, they're all going to go to the discard, and so we won't be able to really reuse them that much. But we're going to be able to spam it. We have 12 cards out of our 65, I think, is going to be our magic number. So 12 copies of A Whole New World, kind of, in a 65 deck means that we're going to be able to spam it quite a lot. Alright, so what else do we need? Well, we need a way to survive early. And that is going to be what the steel package brings. So we have access to Captain Hook. Good old Captain, as a 4-of. Big Challenger allows us to deal with opponents' pesky Simbas or Lilos. Same with Prince Eric, a 1/3 Challenger, just as big as they get for early on threats. And in the same way, I'm going to add a pair of Genies. It's not a good card, it's not a great card, but it's a beater that allows us to establish a defensive position early on. We're not even going to bother playing the bigger Genie. We just really want the 2/3 beater in that spot. Then as we get in the 3 drops, we're going to be playing one of my favorite cards in the deck, Mother Knows Best. It's a bounce spell, single target. You can sing it, return a character to that player's hand. And why do I like it so much? Because if you play Mother Knows Best, and then you follow it up with A Whole New World, well, you've taken a character, sent it back to the hand, sent it to the discard pile. This is a 3-costed singable removal spell in this deck, which is very powerful. It's like a cheap Dragonfire that you can sing. Okay, you do need the Whole New World and to have a singer on the battlefield, I know, but in these cases, it's extremely good. Also, we have a lot of recursion in our deck, and if we have that Lady Tremaine as well as A Whole New World, well, we can get other actions from our discard pile. And Mother Knows Best knows that it's a good card. And it's a good one to pick up, especially since we can cast it for free by singing it. In the same way, we want some removal with Grab Your Sword. Again, another option of action that we can pick up from our discard pile. Another great singable that deals with our opponent's board. So what do we have so far? We have early game pressure. We have best removal that we can get in Emerald and Steel. And we have Recursion for our whole new world. Alright, well, with all of that, we need some singers. And we need 5 or 6 drop singers. So let's see, what's available to us? Cusco, everyone loves Cusco. I'm not going to include Cusco. Why? Let's take a second look here. Uninkable, 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 uninkable. Eesh, we gotta be careful. So let's try not to add any more uninkable unless we really need it. So in terms of 5 drop, there's Little Beast over there, Hardheaded, 4/4, quest for 2, blows up an item, just very solid inkable. And what we're really looking to do in the deck is just establish board presence, prevent their opponent from moving their board, and then just milling them. So the 3-headed guard dog, watchdog, is ideal in this deck. He's just a huge beater, and his main downside is he doesn't quest for a lot. But he's a singer. Gotta love the 3-headed Cerberus singing us a whole new world. So, good singer, good beater. We'll also add a pair of Jumba Jukibas just to make sure we hit kind of the right amount of 5-drop singers for the deck. And again, I'm going for stats over abilities, just so Jumba can be a bit of a bully and do a better job than Mad Hatter. Noting that Cusco, the other beast, Captain Hook are all non-inkable. Genie is also great, but non-inkable. So we're going to stay clear of those just for consistency reasons. And then we'll look at the 6 drops. Who doesn't like a full playset of Tinkerbell? It's a steel deck. It's almost an auto-include at this point. And we're going to be including 3 copies of Mother Gothel, because we don't want to overdo it with the 6 drops. And again, we want to slow down our opponent and have a way to prevent them from questing, because our removal is good, but it has some holes. And we're expecting the game to go very long. And in a game that's very long, we can't always just remove all the threats the opponent puts in, so they're going to get some questing done. And Mother Gothel allows you to force them into combat to get rid of that ability. In the same way, there's another little gem here with Jasper, Common Crook, 2/4. Whenever he quests, an opponent character can't quest during their turn. Similar effect to Mother Gothel in a much weaker scale. Again, we're not looking to quest for a lot of lore. We're looking to stop our opponent in their tracks. And Jasper does that pretty well. And then we go back and look at our list again. And we have decent early game. Okay in the middle. We probably want a bit more in the 3-drop slot now that I look at it, because Jasper's the only one that I really just want to drop on 3. We don't have anything on 4. I'm not sure there are very good options on 4, but let's go take a look. So in terms of 3 drops, we're going to be playing Mickey Mouse Steamboat Pilot. For the stats, 3/4. Going to be playing Smash, deal 3 damage, removal, big stuff, removal, big stuff. It's pretty much the name of the deck at this point. Then we want to go in terms of 4. There's Hans, there's Donald Duck. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go with the small Tinkerbell for the same reason as why we're playing her in the Amber Steel deck. So we have the option of just singing out or bringing out the big Tinkerbell in terms of shifting. Now we want a couple more cards. Well, another card that we can play, since we are quite heavy on the inkables, not uninkables, is some Simbas. Because Simbas allows us to cycle and try to find a whole new world, or try to find our inkable cards if we have too many uninkable in our hands. So we're going to include a pair of Simba Future King, bringing our list to 65, which I think is the target we want. We don't want to be too close to 60, like a 61, 62. Well, it depends on who goes first, and if you've played an extra Simba. So I want to avoid these types of situations. I don't want to go too high. 70 feels too high. So I went with 65. 64, 66, kind of the same thing. Maybe you can get away with 63, but we want to make sure that our mill game plan is good. Also note that the deck can just play a solid beatdown strategy, just clear whatever your opponent is playing, and eventually questing for one is going to win you the game. And we do have a bunch of whole new worlds, so we can cycle through the cards. But the main game plan is to mill our opponents. And at this point, there's nothing overly impressive about the deck. It just seems well balanced, well themed, and what we're all looking for is seeing it in action with some games coming right up. Let's see if we can win a game with some milling action. Let's get rid of these non-inkable ones. Particularly, we don't want two whole new world at the same time. Have 1, 3 of 5 and inkable. That's good enough. Then we draw bigger. Not quite what we wanted, but we'll play with the cards we were dealt. Opponent inks a stitch, plays a hook. Alright. Steel Amber, tier 1, shenanigans, awesomeness. I think we're well equipped to deal with that deck. 52 cards are 57, so we're all set for a milling marathon. As long as we don't let our opponent overwhelm us with a Stitch Rockstar and going wide, we should be in good shape. Opponent Simba's. It's now a verb. The second Tinkerbell's too many Tinkerbells. Though maybe I could have inked a beast. Probably doesn't matter. I'll just pass the turn back. Don't have a turn 2 play here. On 3, we have the deadly Ariel coming onto the battlefield. This spectacular singer. Looking at the top cards and putting a song into our opponent's hand. And our opponent decides to go for the questing with both steel characters. We'll ink a beast. And play our Jasper. And Hook will take down Hook and live to tell the tale thanks to his challenger ability. Now maybe I should showcase Jasper. It's not a card we see every day. That's pretty good. I mean, whenever it quests, an opponent character can't quest during their turn. Opponent sings for some damage in the shape of grab your sword, followed by a smash and a smash in the ink pool and Lilo. Opponent really wants to sing a whole new world next turn. At least it certainly seems like it. Here I think we ink Eric. And just play the big beater Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat pilot. Oh, opponent plays another Ariel. And Ariel, I was going to say miss, but Ariel hits the perfect card for opponent, which is actually quite decent for us too. But let's not tell that to your opponent just yet. Opponent self-mills with a whole new world. And we get to draw a mid full of cards. You have to do it again, but what I really want to establish is a 5-drop on the battlefield, or some board wiping on the opponent's side. In particular, that Lilo is a bit of a problem. Another Simba enters the fray. One's at 38 cards, we're at 47. right now we just want to prevent our opponent from going too wide. Which is probably going to be difficult. We do have a Genie Mickey Mouse, and our opponent would need to double grab your sword to really hurt us. Okay, where Ariel goes to quest, that does open up a different route where Mickey Mouse can fight Ariel. We can smash the second Ariel, and then we can play a 2-drop like our Genie here. Yeah, so let's anchor Simba. Are you better off playing Genie into Mickey Mouse or smashing an Ariel, fighting an Ariel? Really want to fight that Lilo too. Actually, I might be more afraid of that Lilo. But I'm only a grab your sword away from dealing with it. Alright, well, we're gonna play the Genie. And I need to find our combat. I think I'm gonna get rid of the aerials. Our opponent singing just hurts too much. We want to gain some time. So we'll smash an aerial, and Mickey Mouse is going to fight another one. And now we've resolved the Genie. We can't lose, right? I mean, he's ever impressive. Making some green smoke come out of his hat with a ton of riches behind. Opponent hardcast grab your sword. I'm very happy to have dealt with the aerials, because that means that that's most of our opponent's turn right there. Although the opponent can quest for 5, which is a pain, I will admit. Now, if only we could draw our copy of Grab Your Sword, we'd be in pretty good business. 36 to 45, and we find a singer. Although I'm more interested in Mother Gothel at this point, especially since Steel doesn't have very good answers for it. Lilo has to go. Mother Gothel is going to be our new singer in town, and that'll be it for our turn. So whenever Mother Gothel is exerted, our opponent can't gain any lore. Actually, no, that's not right. Our opponent can't quest. If there's that new book that gives you 1 lore that's coming out with the next set, then our opponent could still gain lore that way. But like Mother Gothel says, skip the drama, stay with Mama. And we also have a Mother Knows Best if the opponent plays shenanigans. Opponent goes to smash Mother Gothel. And the questing of the little lions begin. We find ourselves our own copy of Smash. $35.44. Smashing the aerial and then just questing with Mother Gothel is quite interesting. But having a second singer on the battlefield is also pretty good. The opponent's going to have to deal with Mother Gothel, and what else could Ariel sing? Grab your sword. Doesn't hurt Cerberus too much. Alright, I'm going to go a little greedy here. Go after the Cerberus. I'm going to ink a smash. Actually, next turn we're going to go do it again and a whole new world. So we might as well sing this. Alright, Mother Knows Best. Mother Gothel will sing it and it will bounce Ariel back. Opponent's going to get another chance to draw a card, which kind of helps our strategy here. And we're going to be sending it away anyways. Opponent plays aerial yet again. Mother knows best. This card's just great with this deck. Opponent finds another grab your sword. Here's 1, 2 in the discard pile, 1 in hand. 33 cards left. So soon we won't have to worry about that too much. Second copy of Aerial. One finds a Be Our Guest, which will go to the ink. And our opponent's going to sacrifice all the Simbas. Get rid of Mother Gothel. Gotta love a 3 for 1. 4 if we include the smash. Well, she did pretty good. And now what do? We can smash an aerial, bounce an aerial, cast to do it again, and keep a whole new world in hand. I like that. So smash 1, hard casted, bounce 1. Oops. That's not a song. Well, I guess I'm questing. That's a misplay. I forgot Mother Knows Best the song, not do it again. And I will not do it again. That mistake, I mean. I will cast do it again. Opponent finds a whole new world. Maybe I just let our opponent play the whole new world. I'll keep up with the pressure. Tinkerbell comes in, does the pinging shenanigans, bringing our opponent down to 2, which is pretty impactful. And I'll just pass the turn back. Leave the opponent with 8 ink, able to cast a whole new world. Or grab your sword. Not sure why the opponent decided to go after grab your sword there. Opponent would need like a second grab your sword and the smash or Tinkerbell. Okay. Opponent hard casts a whole new world. There's a bit of a tempo mishap there. We'll take it after our tempo slip. And now we have 2 copies of a whole new world in hand. Would you grab your sword? So I want to establish board control, and then we'll just play the mill game. That's the name of the game. Alright, so we have singers. Kind of want a Mother Gothel in play. Spam singing is nice. So Mickey goes to ink. Definitely want to sing grab your sword. Question is, do I hit the Simba to ping the Tinkerbell first? I think I want to do that. Just keeping our opponent's board clear. Yeah. Go ahead and fight the Simba. And with our ability, we get to ping the Tinkerbell. Then we get a sing grab your sword. Taking out everything our opponent has. Then we're playing Mother Gothel for safety. And that'll be our turn. Steel Amber is not well equipped to deal with high toughness character. Except with the giant fairy. That just pings them like that 4-drop Tinkerbell. But 6 is another level of tough. Now we can go back to our original game plan, as our opponent is at 3 whole new worlds away from losing the game. Opponent plays a Tinkerbell, which will take down ours. Quite unfortunate. And Prince Eric. And a Lilo. Okay, so that's a lot of things. Oh, we're gonna begin with singing A Whole New World. So there's nothing overly impressive in that hand. The Mother Gottel will do it. So let's go check our next 7 cards. Everyone loves A Whole New World. And we found a Grab Your Sword, which is quite interesting, to deal with Lilo. But it's also interesting to just Tremaine and cast another Whole New World. Opponent can quest for 5. Five is problematic. I think we need to take a bit of a back seat and take our time. So Eric will go to the ink. We'll sing Grab Your Sword, getting rid of the Lilo. And we'll just drop as much as we can on the battlefield. Well, mine's good for Tremaine Mouse. So let's go Tremaine Mickey and threaten lethal next turn. We'll pick back up our Whole New World and we'll pass the turn back. Opponent will get rid of our Mother Gottel. But now there's another relatively high toughness character on the battlefield. Opponent Tinkerbells. 26 to 13. We are 2 Whole New Worlds away from finishing off our opponent. Which includes our opponent potentially playing a Whole New World. Although there's 3 in the discard already. And a Simba. Find a smash. We can ink something from here. Not overly happy with cards in that hand, so let's just send them all back. We're a single Whole New World away from winning the game. And we get it. We have to do it again. And with our opponent playing 1 Whole New World makes it much easier to simply cast a couple of 1s myself, which will allow us to win the game. 0 cards for opponent. And that is game. We win with the mill. Let's see what we get this time. Too many Mother Knows Best. Do it again. We don't want these right now. Grab Your Sword. Not really. Mother Gottel. I want to make sure we have some inkable stuff. Going second. Yeah, let's keep this. Alright, we draw a hook. Prince Eric. It's a pretty good start. And a bunch of things that are going to go straight into the ink pool. Opponent plays inks a Shield of Virtue. And a small Stitch comes in. Stitch is a bit of a problem. I don't think Mother Gottel is going to be overly great compared to Tinkerbell. So let's ink her and go Captain Hook. So, playing against Amber Ruby. Ruby has evasives, Amber has, well, a little bit of everything. Send another Mother Gottel. Go after the good old 1-2 punch. Hook Eric, pass the turn back. I'm really afraid of Stitch Rockstar here. Well, not this turn, but next turn. Because I don't really have any answer for it. Opponent inks a Maleficent. Maybe there's no Stitch Rockstar. It's probably just a big characters type deck. Now we have a Lady Tremaine. So let's ink Tinkerbell this time. And go with the big bad Mickey Mouse Steamboat Pilot. Just throwing some stats on the board. Opponent inks a big stitch. Opponent's playing a lot of big stuff. Maleficent, big stitch. Passing the turn back. As we draw a smash. Smash is tempting. I'm also tempted just to ink something here. Also, I can get smash back with Lady Tremaine. But I don't know which one to smash. I'm afraid of a big stitch. I'm afraid of a big Aladdin. So I'm just going to ink the smash. I need something to ink, and I don't really have anything to play this turn unless I smash randomly, so I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm not really aiming to win by combat, so stalling the board works in our favor. Also, it means their opponent isn't playing any whole new world, and the opponent's playing an oversized deck too. That's not great. That is not great indeed. Small stitch goes in the quest. That seems like a bait. Our opponent wants us to tackle the stitch so they can play a big Aladdin. Kind of okay taking that bait. Mickey can fight. We'll play a beast and we'll pass the turn back. Still a little too early for a board wipe from our opponent. As we had to cast beast the old-fashioned way with no items to destroy. Just have to make sure that we're prepared for the be prepared on turn 7. Opponent sinks part of your world. Goes and grabs a small stitch to ink. Okay, that makes sense. With a shield of virtue. Opponent's trying to set up the Aladdin into the Aladdin double strike, I think. That thing costs 3 to activate, and 3 is quite a lot. But for now, opponent's just happy keeping Aladdin alive. Gonna ink our Tinkerbell. Our opponent might be playing a Be Our Guest next turn. Not a Be Our Guest, a Be Prepared. The other B, to be or not to be. So we'll just quest with everything. We're fairly wide on board, and I don't really want to overcommit. Our discard pile is completely empty, so Lady Tremaine is garbage at this point. Opponent plays a big Maui. Aladdin takes off our Captain Hook, and Maui takes out Prince Eric. 2 threats that we have. Alright, well, if that's the case, we're gonna play our Tinkerbell. Pinging both characters. Gotta love Tinkerbell. She changes the mat on the board so that Mickey Mouse can take out Maui. And now we can safely quest with Beast. As we pass the turn back to potentially another Maui from our opponent's side of the field, or a Be Prepared. Looks like our opponent's playing an amber version of a Super Control. I guess it's not Super Control unless it's the Amethyst, but a lot of similar cards. Part of your world may be a questionable choice. Opponent inks to Be Your Guest. And we top deck a weak Genie. I'm just going to ink that. Quest with Beast, and just pass the turn back. We're under no real pressure. I'm also partially tempted to use Mother Knows Best to bounce the Beast back so I can destroy a Shield of Virtue. Alright, so it's a Be Prepared style deck using Ariel to fetch Be Prepared. Spectacular Singer. Spectacular in every color. Ooh, a pair of Be Prepared. Alright, well that's ominous. Question is, do I care? Not really. Quested Beast. Phone doesn't have much of a threat on the battlefield. I think that's all. Let's not overcommit. The game is waste time, don't overcommit, wait for a whole new world, so we can start milling our opponent. In the meantime, we might as well apply some pressure. Opponent Dragon fires. That's the way to deal with it. And the aerials just sing. Opponent inks a stitch, so we know our opponent's hand. It's be prepared, be prepared. And we are. Here, Mother Gottel's a pretty good threat. So I'll just land her. Because both aerials can't actually fight her. Ooh. That's a bigger problem. So Aladdin comes in. Aladdin's a bit of a problem. I mean, we can sing grab your sword and then smash. I don't want to Mother Knows Best the Aladdin, because then the opponent just has, well, actually a quest for 2. If the opponent casts the Aladdin again, then I keep on questing. There's no real good fight. The opponent can't ink. Actually, I do want to hard cast Mother Knows Best. Off you go. Let's ink Captain Hook. Don't really want to play that. And next turn I want to set up the Lady Tremaine and potentially double smash. No, we can't double smash. Lady Tremaine singing Mother Knows Best is interesting, because it puts us back in the same situation, but then I'm kind of all tapped out. So Aladdin comes back. Then you can't quest, my friend. Or, yeah, no, can't quest. It's not even can't lore. So if the opponent had an ability that would trigger upon questing, no such thing. Oh, second smash. That's a good draw. We'll double smash Aladdin. Just pinging for 6. And quest with Mother Gottel. Aerial's not good enough to take out Mother Gottel, so the opponent is still stuck with 2 Be Prepared in hand. Might just have to cast one to deal a 1 for 2. Opponent casts to Be Prepared. Alright, and now we need a threat, so we're gonna go Lady Tremaine. And we have choice of Mother Knows Best and a pair of smashes. We'll take a smash since we've just drawn one. Just making sure that we have removal spells for whatever our opponent falls up with. Then it's going to be a battle of top decks, mostly. Okay, opponent decides against doing anything. Opponent on 42 cards, we're on 44. So let's ink a smash and sing it. Sing a whole new world. Because that's the game plan. And there goes 1 Be Prepared for our opponent. So there's 2 in the graveyard, 2 remaining in the deck. We draw another copy. But for now, I kind of want to force to Be Prepared, I think. So I'm going to go wide with characters. And I can cast to Do It Again to pick up Mother Knows Best. Because we do have a whole new world in hand. So ideally, I'd like to sing it next turn. But if the opponent plays anything threatening, we Mother Knows Best, send it back to your opponent's hand, and then just cast a whole new world yet again. Yeah, something threatening, like that Maleficent, for example. And small stitch. Unfortunately, I've now lost my singer. I think that's what I want to do. So, Mother knows best. Bounce back Maleficent. Ink a card because I can. And then let's discard everything and draw 7 more. Let's do it again and again and again. Opponent at 27 cards. I'll keep my threats on the battlefield because I really want them more as removal now, as close as I am to questing to victory. And we have another whole new world, which is good. Problem is our opponent's playing a horde of Maleficents and such. Ooh, Aladdin. Big threat. And Hades. Ooh, these are very slow threats, my friend. Picking back up the big Maleficent. But you know what's fun? Balancing stuff. So here, I kind of want to play Lady Tremaine and then bounce the Aladdin back. I can also grab your sword. Do I have smash? No. 2 against just a little slow. And I only have 1 do it again. So we only have 1 do-over. I can also just go with 2 singers. And then set up a big turn next turn. Maybe I'll do that. Set up Cerberus as a singer. Lady Tremaine as a singer. And pick back up a copy of Mother Knows Best. And I'll just pass the turn. So we want a bunch of ink. I want to keep our opponent at bay. The opponent can quest for 4. Opponent can also sing Be Prepared and then unload a bunch of stuff on the battlefield, which is probably the worst case scenario for us. Maleficent takes out one of our singers. That's okay. Gaston goes to the ink. Big bad dragon coming to the battlefield. If you can land it, it's pretty strong. I kind of wish that you would have drawn cards off of that Rapunzel. Alright, we draw another Mother Knows Best. So here, can go 3, 6, 11. You can wipe out our opponent's board and keep a singer on the battlefield. So let's start by hard casting Grab Your Sword. Wiping out the 2 small fries on the left. Captain Hook can trade with Aladdin. Not overly threatened by that. And then we go Mother Knows Best. Bouncing Maleficent. Mother Knows Best. Bouncing Rapunzel. And let's shuffle it all away with a whole new world, a whole new hand, and probably more big bad spells from our opponent. But for now, the coast is clear. And I think I forgot to ink something with the previous hand. Unlikely to matter much. Let's go quest with Eric and ink and Eric. And we have a Tremaine, which will allow us to pick up another whole new world. We're a little short on other types of removal. That's beautiful. Opponent has to cast to Be Prepared. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 copies in the graveyard, discard pile. Board wipe has been played. We hit a do it again. So we go Tremaine. Tremaine will pick up Removal. Mother knows best. It will make you lose some time. Back to the hand, Aladdin. And we're gonna cast a Mickey Mouse. Just adding to the board presence. Mother knows best, doing a lot of work here. Just bouncing stuff. Opponent takes out Tremaine. Inks Maui. 16 cards. An opponent picks up another Maleficent off of Hades. I'm going to quest for 3. So here I'm gonna do it again. Hardcast a whole new world. That's 8, and then I have 4 left. Can make that 5. So let's pick up a whole new world yet again using do it again. Then you can 5 plus 5. I do like having a singer here. And it'll just hardcast a whole new world. Mill you for 7. Oh, and we find Mother Knows Bests. Fortunately, we don't have recursion for a whole new world in our current hand, which could be problematic. But we can sing it. Do we sing it? I think we do. Sing, bounce back the big bad dragon. Really just aiming at gaining some time here. The opponent's starting to run out of cards. Maleficent takes out our Cerberus. Another Hades. Love to see them because they're slow, considering what we're doing. What's left? So we have 1 copy of Whole New World 2, 3 in the discard, 1 Mother Tremaine, 2, 3 Mother Tremaines, 3 Do It Agains, 1, 2, 3, all 4 Do It Again. So we have 1 Lady Tremaine. I'll have a Simba. Second chance Simba. Here you go. Draw a Jumba. Not quite what I want. Jaspers can gain some time. Also need to be careful about deck counts here. I mean, I can bounce my Simba if I really wanted to go all in. I think I'm just going to go hardcast the Beast, take out your shield, and then go double Jasper. How much can our opponent quest for? 5? The board's starting to be a little cluttered because of this bug here. And the opponent doesn't have any more Be Prepared, so I guess I can go all in and play the Captain Hook. And I have a good trade with the Hades. Let's just do that. Start fighting on the board. Although maybe I can just quest for victory, and that would have been a better plan. Because we are 4 away, and questing with that Mickey just brings us that much closer. And with the opponent not having a board wipe, maybe I'm just focusing too much on the mill win condition. Because this is a mill deck, and I really want to get the mill win. For that, I need to draw one of our 2 cards that can make it happen. 2 out of 9s. Still decent odds. And we're at the right number. Opponent's at 7 card, we're at 9. Now we have Jaspers. Whenever they quest, target opponents can't quest. Opponent sings part of your world. With Ariel, very thematic. Finds an Aladdin. Casts a small Aladdin. Okay, takes down our lore. So that's our opponent's answer. Another aerial. We're just so close. So close to getting it. Drum roll before a card draw. Now the opponent still has a bunch of ink. So I guess they'll keep on doing some stuff, but they're running low on cards, both in hand and in their deck. Another Aladdin. Opponent's really trying to keep our lore down, keeping us away from winning. Gaston. I think the opponent has to fight Mickey. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, Maleficent has to take out Mickey. Fun questing mat going on. Another shield. Okay. Quest with Maleficent, then use the shield to an exert. An opponent has kept us at bay. Alright. Now we're starting to be too low for that trick to win, to work. So I think we just need to win by combat now. Which means we just cast everything we have, destroy the shield. And the Jaspers will have the quest, preventing our opponent from questing. So exerted aerial, quest, other aerial. You can take out the Maleficent. You are questing. Simba will quest too. Let's just put it all on the table. And I mean, if we're gonna do that, we might as well remove one of our opponent's combat. Best challenger is Gaston, so Gaston goes away. No cards at 19 to 13. Do you have anything, opponent? You also have one more turn. One more turn to draw a whole new world, or to just quest for victory. The opponent needs a lot here. They need to wipe out our board. Kind of like this. Double 9-drop Maleficent. You're not going to see that every game. And then does the combat add up? No, our opponent's short. 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Can't take out both. Can't even take out just the Jasper. And we'll see the last draw step. See if we can win by mill. Hopefully our opponent doesn't resign before we see the card. But we do win questing with Jasper next turn. Alright, we don't draw it, so we'll win the good old way. Questing to victory. Then we get a trigger. Trigger is not important. The important is the victory. Even though we didn't see the mill victory, which would have been quite nice, we did see quite a lot of Mother Knows Best bouncing big threats, and then essentially just getting rid of them with a whole new world, and keeping on drawing fresh hands of cards, and all the recursion with a whole new world and spell was kind of cool. And it was good enough to take us to victory. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. I really appreciate it. And the deck is a lot of fun to play. The deck has some potential against some of the slower strategies, like the Ruby Amethyst that just keeps on drawing cards, making the mill more powerful. Also against Steel Amber, some of our high toughness characters can live a long time, and with our opponents playing some whole new worlds of their own, we can often just catch them off guard and get them to 0 cards. So it's a deck that's decently placed in the metagame. It's nothing groundbreaking or something like that, but it's definitely a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of intricate lines that you can take. You get to bounce a lot of stuff, and then force them to discard, which is super satisfying. You get to play some cards that you don't typically play, like Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Pilot, and Cerberus. God love the three-headed dog. It's just intimidating. Well, again, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash the like button, and have a great day and have some fun playing with that deck.